Here we go.
Our mission, Helping Parents Heal, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting parents whose children have passed. Through support and resources offered, we aspire to help individuals become shining light parents, meaning a shift from a state of emotional heaviness to one of hopefulness and greater peace of mind. Helping Parents Heal goes a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and afterlife evidence in a non-dogmatic way. Helping Parents Heal affiliate groups welcome everyone, regardless of religious or non-religious background, and encourage open dialogue. Attendance at this meeting is voluntary. We hope that participants will learn from and share with each other. Discussions here are confidential and not designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Zoom meetings run by leadership are not confidential. These meetings typically feature guest presenters and are posted on YouTube so that affiliate members worldwide can watch and benefit. Neither type of Helping Parents Heal meeting is designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Helping Parents Heal offers a wide variety of speakers, allowing parents to learn about many possible ways to heal. This includes presenters covering progressive topics such as afterlife evidence and connecting with our children who've passed. The views expressed by our guest speakers may or may not reflect the opinions of Helping Parents Heal leaders and members, so we ask that you take from their presentations whatever may benefit you personally. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here this evening, and thank you, Lisa, for being here.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, for being here, and thank you all for being here. And I just wanted to tell everyone, if you'd like to say who you are, where you're from, if you're an affiliate leader or a caring listener, or if you're on the board, please write that in the chat box so that we can recognize you and know that you're here. And I'm going to read Lisa's short bio before she gets started. And Irene and I are just so happy to have Lisa on here because it's so much fun to listen to Lisa speak about her own journey. And she gave us a little bit of foreshadowing of what she's going to be talking about, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, Lisa Wilcoxson is a spiritual evidential medium and psychic. Naturally intuitive and having seen people in spirit from a young age, Lisa dedicated herself to spiritual work after both her children transcended to heaven. Lisa is renowned for delivering detailed evidence and
Elizabeth.
What?
That's enough. That's enough.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Okay, let me say a few other things. So she has 2 children in spirit, and she volunteers much of her time with Helping Parents Heal. An affiliate leader of 2 groups, as I said, one for parents of children of special needs and one for parents who have had all of their children pass. And she has a website, and you can learn more about her there, which is www.lisawilcoxen.com. She lives both in Sedona, Arizona and in Scottsdale, Arizona. And and she's also married to Rick, who is an incredible videographer and who does our videos for the conference and for lots of other things. So without further ado, please join me and Irene in welcoming beautiful Lisa Wilcoxson. Welcome, Lisa.
Yay, what an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you. Most of you I know, and those of you I don't know, it's nice to meet you. I just want to let you know that I'm here tonight in somewhat of a different capacity. Usually I come on and do readings for you, which is an incredible honor and privilege to do. But I was talking with Elizabeth, and I'm just really dedicated and devoted to helping parents heal, because I will tell you who I'm getting emotional already. I will tell you this organization saved my life. Now, I usually come on and I'm happy and cheerful, just like Elizabeth, just like Irene. And all of you look at us like we have 3 heads. Like, how can you be this way? Well, I'm here to tell you, my first son, Michael, crossed when he was 12 years old. He was severely disabled. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk. So I know I've shared this part with you before, that it was working with him. It was being his mom that taught me my clairs, taught me to know what he needed, to feel what he was feeling, to be able to care for him for those 12 years. And Anthony was 6 when Michael crossed. Michael suddenly got pneumonia. And I was working for American Airlines at the time. I worked my entire career there. I worked in flight operations, in navigation at the end. I was a technical writer. Completely not a medium, I'll tell you that. And then when Anthony, I just turned all my life into Anthony. He was 6 when Michael crossed. And Anthony became my everything. He really was. Talk about, probably I was pretty much a helicopter mom, but he was everything for me. And hindsight's always 20/20. You know, there were a lot of things he said during his life. When he was 4 years old, when he was 2, he told me, Mama, I waited forever to come and be your baby. And when he was 4, I looked in the back seat. I picked him up from daycare and he had big old crocodile tears. I said, baby, what's the matter? Mama, when I'm 18, I'm going to leave you. And I'm so sad because I'm going to miss you, Mama. And I said, when you're 18, you're a big boy and you go to college. Well, when he was 18 and he crossed, that came back to me. And I thought, what 4-year-old knows that? What 4-year-old would know that when you're 18, you're going to go to college or going to leave or move out or whatever? And then about 3 months before he crossed, he was just on his way as a freshman to college. And we were in the garage, and the garage door went down, and it was very dark. And he just sat there and didn't get out of the car. He said, Mom, I have to talk to you. He said, Mom, I went to a party and Rick and I don't drink. He said, Mom, I went to a party. I've never seen anyone drink. And I drank a whole bottle of vodka. Mom, I almost died. I'm afraid I'm going to die, Mom. I feel like something's going to happen to me. Will you watch out for me? So I don't know what I said to that. I have no recollection of what I said to that. What I do know is that was such a gift to me in hindsight. Now, fast forward those few months, I was in my closet, and I suddenly, and this was one of my first experiences with seeing spirit. My mother was in my closet, who had crossed 4 months before Michael did 12 years earlier. And I came out of my closet. I said, Rick, I just saw my mom in my closet. She was crying. And I thought, number one, why is she crying? Heaven is happy and angels on clouds playing harps, as Rumi says. And I didn't understand how she could be crying. And I was shocked that I even saw her. So 3 days later was when I got the call from Scottsdale emergency room, come quickly, Anthony's on a ventilator. He had gone to a party, and had been given a poisonous drug in his nose. And my mother gave me the biggest gift of all. And I really want this to sink in with you guys. My mother showed me by appearing before me, there is no crying in heaven. She was letting me know she knew my heart was about to break, but more so than that, the gift she gave me in that was that, how could that have happened? It let me know nothing I could have done could have changed this, because she knew it 3 days before. How does that happen? How did she know 3 days ahead of time? Now I know it's because there is no time or space. It's such a challenge for us to understand that in this 3-dimensional world, in these bodies, in this physicality, to understand and know the true magnificence, the true miracle of all that is everything. What we have here is really what's not real. What we have here is very different than the other side, we'll call it. And there really is no other side. It's all intermingled. So here I was, and suddenly all my children were, and I'm going to use this word, just so you know, but it's not a real word, gone. All my children were gone. Okay, they were the D word, they were dead. What was I going to do? Rick had just gotten a job in Sedona. And so I went up to Sedona because both of us were like, what's going to happen to Lisa? I didn't know that either. So we went up there, and I was doing some therapy up there. And from another friend I knew whose son had crossed, I saw on her Facebook page, she was going to this group called Parents United in Loss. And that's where I found Elizabeth and Mark Ireland and the Hollahans. And it was about a mile from my house, the original Helping Parents Heal meeting. And so when I was in my home in Scottsdale, I would go see Elizabeth and all of the Helping Parents Heal. It became Helping Parents Heal later. And when I was in Sedona, I would see my grief therapist. And I'm going to share my screen now. Hold on 1 second real quickly. I just hit the wrong button, of course. Hold on. Put this back up and hit share screen. So I was in Sedona and I was PISSED. I wanted nothing to do with this beautiful place. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it because I felt as if somehow God had given Rick this job in this beautiful place and that the rug, he knew the rug was going to be pulled out from under me. Well, that was, now I know none of that to be real. But I found myself here and I wound up hiking every day. This is at the top of where our home is. And I would hike these red rocks, hike through that cactus, and I would cry and I would cry and I would cry. And it just gave me, now I'm just going to say this. I told Elizabeth and Irene, I may say some things that you don't like. So just please bear with me. Every time I would hike, I'd look at that rock and I'd think, how am I going to get to the top of that rock and jump off? And I hate to say that, but I need you to know how broken and shattered I was. And I would hike and I would hike and I would hike. And then something really magical happened. So there was a poem, Death is Nothing at All. It does not count. I have only slipped away into the next room. Nothing has happened. Everything remains exactly as it was. I am I, and you are you, and the old life that we lived so fondly together is untouched, unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, that we still are. Call me by the old familiar name. Speak of me in the easy way which you always used. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed, the little jokes that we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without an effort, without the ghost of a shadow upon it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute and unbroken continuity. What is this death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. Well, here's the miracle that happened. Is I was looking, and I think this was posted in Helping Parents Heal. I was looking at this torn out of a newspaper thing, and suddenly I saw with new eyes. My vision shifted, and I thought, look at that torn edge. That is the identical landscape I'm hiking. It's identical. There is Coffee Pot Rock to the right. You go up. There's Thunder Mountain. You go down all the way to the left to Chimney Rock. And I got it. It was like something went off. That's how you see the unseen. You have to look differently. You have to, it was so shocking, so startling to me that how could someone so many years ago have torn that paper to be the absolute identical landscape of the rocks in Sedona that I hiked. Our house is right there, right below the one on the right. And I was really stunned. Then I meditated, and the first thing I ever saw was an ankh. I had no idea what it was. I told my therapist I saw a bumper sticker that's on the back of cars. And she said, that's an ankh. It means everlasting life. So this is where I was helping parents heal, and I would go and I'd cry, and poor Elizabeth, she was so sweet to me. She was so kind to me. And those of you who haven't heard, I'd put the iPad by my feet and I would record because I didn't know if we were allowed to record. And at the same time, I was seeing number 8s being drawn all over the walls. And I thought, you know what, that's just me being, being crazy. So then as I was meditating, I started seeing this. And I thought, what is that? Is my guide Jewish? Because I was learning about guides. I was learning about chakras. I was learning stuff that was completely foreign to me. And I learned that this is what's called a Merkaba. And a Merkaba is somewhere, it's part of sacred geometry. It's part of the shift in getting out of yourself, getting out of your own vibration and extending your vibration. Then as I was learning about all this, which there's so many YouTube videos that you too can learn, I realized Anthony came to me in a meditation and he said, Mom, here's what I want you to do. Look at the chain of DNA, Mom, in your mind and spin it like a guitar. Spin those rods with your finger and blow it out. Blow all the colors out, Mom. And I went places. I hear people who take ayahuasca and go on these retreats do. I didn't need any of that. All of a sudden I was flying, and I was flying with my son, and it was incredible and it was beautiful. And just like he said, strum it like a guitar, Mom. This is a picture Rick captured of me meditating in Sedona. He was fixing the landscaping and he didn't even look at this picture. I said, I need some pictures for my website. He didn't look at it until the landscaping broke. And he went back and he said, oh my God, Lisa, you tell me when you meditate, you go to the light. I had no way to manipulate that picture. I believe you now. And this is what I want all of you to know, is this is real. I'm not making this up. But I'm not making up that I was in your shoes. I was in your seat. Okay. We all deal with this differently, but I was able to find my children. I was able to find a new relationship with them. I found out they're not only okay, they're miraculous. I found out that I am not going on without them. They're with me every step of the way. I found out that all that sobbing and grief that I was going through, I was like, wait a minute. It was like someone threw cold water on me. And I realized this is a whole new world. This is a whole new, this is a whole new ball game, as they say. And I wanted every bit of it I could get. And that's when I started meeting like-minded people. I want you to look on the screen, just like the Brady Bunch, up and down and to the sides of you. This is the community that is going to help us. These are our people. These are our folks. These are the people that we can talk to about this stuff that aren't going to be like, oh, there's Lisa again. There she goes talking about this stuff. Because you know what? We know it's real. We know what our children are bringing to us. We know they've brought each and every one of you, because one of you is going to start talking about a ladybug and I'm going to be like, oh my God, I just saw a ladybug. It was sitting on there. Where'd that ladybug come from? That's my sign from my daughter. This group, this community, it's this one that saved my life, because I love all the people that have dedicated and devoted their lives to helping others, whether it's the people in Compassionate Friends, whether it's the people in all the other groups. But I will tell you that in the 24 years since Michael crossed and 11 years since Anthony crossed, this is the group that changed my life. This is the group where I realized if I'm crying in the grocery store, I need to look around and say, what are you trying to tell me, son? Because I know you're here. I know you're touching my vibration. I know you're touching my frequency. I know you're trying to get my attention. And sometimes it's so incredible what happens I still cry anyway, but they're happy tears. They're just really happy tears. There was one point I was just like, oh, here comes the wave of grief again. And I was laying in my bed crying, and all of a sudden, there were Michael and Anthony. And they said, you know what, Mom? And forgive me if you were in the only child group last week, because I know I talked about this. They said, you know what, Mom? You blame everything on us. Everything's not our fault. And what they meant by that was, it doesn't matter what happens in my life now, if I'm feeling, whatever I'm feeling, if I have a cold, if I'm hungry, if I'm mad at Rick, if my tires flat in my car, if I'm worried about bills, whatever it is, I always take it to, and my kids are dead. And my kids are dead. Well, you know what? Everything is not their fault. They were right. It's not their fault. It's just life happening. And I have to remember that. And I have to remember that, you know what? They're here supporting me in ways they never could have supported me before, because they were working out their own physical experiences. They were having, all their own things that were going on. I want to tell you, I've learned just as much from all of you that I've had readings with. The things your kids have showed me, they say things that I'm like, wow, that could be like a Rumi quote. The miracles that I see, I want to tell one story, and I didn't ask her permission. I don't know if Nancy Hain is on here, but no, it wasn't Nancy. Who was it? Owen. I don't know if she's on here, but it was Anthony's angelversary. So it was his birthday. I'm sorry. Okay. It was Anthony's birthday. And I didn't schedule any readings that day because I thought, you know what? I might be emotional. I'm just going to take the day off. I don't know what I'm going to do. I woke up that morning and my alarm went off and said, you have a reading in 2 hours. And I was like, I know I didn't have a reading. Where did this come from? So I got up, I got dressed, I came and did the reading. And as I was doing the reading, her son came through, and her son showed me his sister nursing a baby. And she said, no, I'm sorry, my daughter doesn't have any children. And I said, well, he's telling me how happy he is about his sister's baby. And so I said, so, it must be just in the future, and he already knows about it. Well, I got an email the next morning from her, and she said, Lisa, my daughter came over last night and told us she was pregnant. Her son had to let mom and sister know that because he somehow manipulated my scheduling program to get an appointment for me that day. It had to be that day. I don't know how they do this stuff. I can just tell you, I am the biggest medium skeptic there is. You can ask Irene and Elizabeth. I'm always like, yeah, I don't know about that, but I really am. Because you know what? I know we are the most vulnerable population out there. I know we are. And so I am like so devoted to this group. I'm so devoted because I know for a fact, how would Lisa have known that? I couldn't make that up. How would I possibly have known? That was him. That was the daughter, Kim, whose daughter wouldn't even let me get through my introduction and started waving a toothbrush in front of me. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't understand this, but your daughter's just standing here waving a toothbrush. And she said before her daughter crossed, they were in the bathroom and they were just talking, and they made an agreement that they would send each other signs if something happened to one of them. And she said, my daughter picked up a toothbrush and said, I'll send you a toothbrush. And she said, Lisa, for 10 years, I've had a toothbrush in a cup on my kitchen counter. I tell everyone, don't touch that toothbrush, don't touch that toothbrush. She was waiting for that toothbrush to move, and her daughter showed up in the reading, first thing, waving a toothbrush. It's that kind of stuff. How can a medium can't look that kind of stuff up? It's knowing, and it doesn't take a medium either. It's knowing what's ever in your heart. Things happen and you think, I just really had a loud, like the whole vibration changed here. When you're sitting there and all of a sudden your ears start ringing, or when you're sitting there and you see a flash. Mark Anthony taught us at the conference about the rods in our eyes. And when we see something out of the corner of our eye, try not to turn our head, because when we do, they come in peripherally and it changes the vision. It changes, they can stay with us better if we don't turn our heads. Gosh, I'm here to tell you, because so many other people are here to tell you, this is forever. This is a life sentence. We're going to grieve our kids for the rest of our lives. And Elizabeth and Irene know. I'm like, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be, because they're here. They're with us. I want to tell you one more quick story. So I love signs. I love getting signs, and we learn all about this. So this was probably about 7 years after Anthony crossed. And I have a little funny drawer in my kitchen. It's one of those short drawers that nothing fits in. It's right below my coffee pot, and it's got like my mixing spoons and measuring cups in it. I'm always cleaning it out because the coffee grounds, because the coffee pot's right above it. So 7 years after Anthony crossed, I opened that door and there was a key in there. And it was attached to a cigarette lighter. And I thought, where did this come from? Anthony had told me he lost his dorm room key right before he crossed. And I thought, oh my God, it was a do not duplicate. It was a state issued key. It was his dorm room key. And I thought, where did this come from? I have no idea where this came from. I walked around for a week crying, holding this key, because it brought back all those memories. It brought back all that difficulty just before he crossed when he was at college. I was just like so worried. And I was walking out to see my counselor, and I threw the key on the laundry room counter, and I heard him say, "Take the key, Mom." So I picked up the key. I went and I sat there, cried, holding the key. And then I went to my portal place. Everyone who knows me knows this and laughs at me, but Costco, that's my portal. And I was buying some frozen fish, and I ran right into the woman. I hadn't seen her in 7 years since Anthony's funeral. Her son was Anthony's best friend. And I said, oh my gosh, Christine, I'm so surprised to see you. So I know this is going to be on YouTube, so I shouldn't have said her name. Sorry about that. Anyway, I walked to get my fish, and I was texting a friend, and I said, you wouldn't believe who I just ran into. And my fingers, she said, what does that mean? And my fingers typed out, it means it's not Anthony's key. And I was like, what was that? And I told her, I didn't text that. I don't know where that came from, but my fingers texted that. So I got in my car and I was, all right, mister, if you're trying to tell me this isn't your key, I want to sign. I want to sign right now. And I'm not kidding. You have 1 hour to show me. And I just went, Snowbird. You have 1 hour to show me Snowbird. We're in Arizona. I'm thinking I'm going to see a bumper sticker or something. So I went home, put my frozen fish in, was going to dinner with a girlfriend and her little 90-year-old mom, met them at the restaurant about 50 minutes into this. So here's her little 90-some-year-old mom and her walker. We're waiting for a table. And in the meantime, I'm telling my girlfriend this story. And the guy's not seating us. And I'm like, there's all these tables. Why isn't he seating us? So finally, little Alice is there in her little walker, and he says, okay, I'll take you to your table now. And just then a man walked in the door right in front of me, shakes me up every time I tell it, with the word Snowbird on the back of his t-shirt. And my girlfriend punched me and she said, Lisa, they do it every time. They always answer you. And I was stunned because it was Snowbird Ski Resort. And I wasn't even thinking that. That didn't even enter my mind. So it was such a miracle. But then I sat down at the table, and all of a sudden, and I promise you I'm not making this up, Anthony was right there next to me. And he said, Mom, come with me. And he grabbed my hand, and I pray you guys don't think I'm crazy, but this was real. He pulled me out of my body, and I could see everyone in the restaurant. And he said, Mom, don't you see? You didn't give me that sign. I dropped that word in your head. Mom, I already saw you walk into this restaurant. I already saw that man walk in front of you with that word on the back of his t-shirt. Look, Mom, look at all these people sitting in here. They're all having their own lives. And it was like a play. I could see everyone in the restaurant like they were actors in a play. And this man sitting at this booth, I could see all the actors around him, all for him. It was all about him. And then the woman across from him, it was like I could see all the actors around her, and it was all for her. And he said, Mom, look at that line of people all waiting to come into bodies. And I could see people, it was like a line for a movie or a line for a roller coaster. They were just standing there talking. And he said, Mom, I'm literally right here, Mom. And he looked exactly like he did the last time I saw him. And just like that, I was back in my body. And I was astonished because it was probably a matter of seconds in this three-dimensional time. But I was with him for a good 5 minutes. And I was absolutely stunned by that. And that was when I had this realization. This life is about me. My life is about me. My boys' part in my life was completed for them, and they haven't gone anywhere. It's like we all came in to have these experiences, but it's true and it's real when they say, this is for me. He said, Mom, have your life, have fun. You're going to be out of here and it's going to be the blink of an eye and I'm going to be standing here. Have a good time. It's your turn, Mom. And that gave me the most immense, incredible freedom. I literally, I go back to that. What's funny is Anthony's high school mascot was Firebird. They were the Firebirds. And that's when he told me, Mom, you're going to be a phoenix. And that's why I named Phoenix Medium. He said, Mom, you're going to be a phoenix. You're going to help all the parents learn their phoenix. They walk through this fire and then they gain these wings to see things that other people can't ever see. We are special. We get to have a miracle-filled life that I can promise you, if my boys were still walking this earth today in their physical, I can promise you I would not be this person. I can promise you I would not see the miracles that I see every single day. I can promise you I wouldn't laugh as hard as I laugh when I go to coffee with Elizabeth and all the other beautiful ladies. I can promise you I would not have been in a group of 1,000 parents who've had their children cross where the hotel staff are saying, who are all these happy people? I can promise you I have never felt more compassion than working with another parent who's had their child cross and help see their light go on in their eyes. I look at a lot of you here right now, Diane, Elena. Oh my gosh, I could just go on and on and on of seeing your lights go on and seeing you reach your hand back and say, come on, come to the light. We really are parents of shining lights. We really are shining light parents. And we don't have to grieve forever. I mean, I know now because my boys said, quit blaming us for everything. I know now when those waves of grief come for me, and at times they do, I just say, you know what? It's just like when I get hungry, or it's just like, we can all feel lonely in a room full of people. That's our three-dimensional experience. There's all kinds of somatic healing we can do. There's hiking, there's automatic writing to be able to connect with our friends. There's the yoga for grief. There's so much in yoga. There's so much to learn. I want to invite you to the most beautiful experience you never would have imagined you wanted. And I just want to jump up and down when I hear people talking about this place of misery that we've all landed. And I just want to say, no, that's not what our kids want for us. And it's not real. I want to say, come with me, come with me. So when I say I'm trying to lead the bandwagon, I truly am. And that's why I'm so grateful to Elizabeth and Irene. And I'm going to take a breath and take a drink of
Well,
water right
I
now.
need to jump in because there's so many people writing in the chat box about how beautiful this presentation is. So Marilyn is saying, thank you, Lisa. Needed this tonight. Um, Christine is saying, yes, so grateful. What inspiring messages. CV is saying, your wisdom is such a blessing to my soul. Debbie is saying, absolutely 100%. Bernadette is saying, I so appreciate you, Lisa, for sharing your truth. Tara is saying, loving the depth and the insight and authenticity. Lisa, very grateful. And this goes on and on. We also have, let's see, Sharon saying, my life feels so dark. I hope to get to that feeling of light someday. So maybe you could just tell
I'm going
Sharon.
to talk to Sharon. That's who I'd
Yeah.
like to talk to.
Okay, so do you want to bring her
No,
up?
no,
Okay,
I'm going to
talk
address
to-
this next
okay.
thing to Sharon. Sharon, there's not one person except for maybe Elizabeth, and that's why she started this group, there that has not felt so dark. Because ta- eh, there's just nothing like that. When you have this connection with your child, and suddenly it feels as if, ooh, what happened?
Let's
It
see.
says, I'm viewing Carrie's whiteboard.
So, Carrie, you must somehow have become,
Hmm.
I think we need to just get a,
Okay, somehow I stopped her sharing, so I don't know how that happened. Um, I was not, this is 11 years down the road. When I tell you Elizabeth was the kindest, most patient person, I was there with you. I truly was there thinking, I don't know how I'm even going to get to tomorrow. For those of you that are in this place, I want to remind you the breath. Dr. Mark Pitstick has, if you go to soulproof.com, there's article number 70. It's also listed under the caring listeners. It's about breath work. We have to breathe. Everything is in the breath. And when we're feeling that panic, where's my child? Just go to the breath. It's the same breath that they breathed. Okay, put your hand on your rib and feel yourself breathing in and out. Feel your diaphragm move, because we forget to breathe. We literally go into this state of trauma, and we hold our breath in that. Go to the breath, go to the light. Do the simple, gentle things for yourself. Whether it's, running your hands under cold water, walk around barefoot if you can, especially outdoors. Whatever you can do to keep yourself in your body, just keep your, you know what? Rub your arms. I learned some basal vagal exercises where you look to the left and count to 30, you look straight and count to 30, you look to the right and count to 30. It's not something I can give you guys like this and say, okay, tomorrow I want you to wake up and be happy and joyful and we're all going to go to parades with our kids. It doesn't work that way. It's little by little by little. It's knowing that, okay, I can do this next hour. Okay, Lisa, I think I can do this next hour. And whether you take a nap for an hour, whether you listen to a hemisync meditation, which is binaural beats, for a half an hour. I couldn't listen to music with lyrics for years. In fact, still today, I listen to the spa channel because music is frequency and vibration, and it's an incredible healer. But the words would make me cry. It didn't matter who was singing it, the words would make me cry. So I found a different way to listen to these things.
Okay, I have to quickly just ask another question because I think that this is important. Um, Yen is saying, I don't blame my child for her death. I blame myself. I blame myself for failing her, for I wasn't able to protect her. I don't know how to get rid of that guilt. So maybe you could talk about what our kids want us to do.
Okay.
And this,
Okay, Yen, I was really grateful to meet Yen on Wednesday. And Yen, what I would like to share with you is I know this is about you, and I know this is about the guilt you feel, but I want to share with you. I want you to look at every face on this, and I promise you there's not one mom or dad on here tonight that does not feel that way, that did not feel that way. It does not matter what the circumstances were that our child crossed. It doesn't matter. Because we're their parents, and that's what we're going to feel. What I want you to remember, what I'd like to invite you to take away from tonight is the story of how my mother visited me 3 days before Anthony went to that party. My mother showed me it had already happened. I want to open your heart to know, in the sense of all that is divine, all that is sacred, all that is the universe, your sweet little daughter had already crossed. Nothing you could have done would have changed that. And I need you to just come back to my story every time you think of that, because it doesn't make sense. It sounds like make-believe. But I'm sitting here telling you, I have told you nothing that wasn't 100% true tonight.
well, and I want to follow up with that by saying that Debbie had a reading with you, and um, she said my daughter told her things that would come true in the future, and 5 months later they did. So again, how could that happen without it being predestined to happen that way? There's nothing, there's no guilt. This is
Exactly.
something that was going to happen to your daughter. So don't feel guilty. And
I
she's,
like what Christine says. Guilt is the mind's desire for control. Guilt is, I promise you, Yen, every single one of us felt that and feels that at times. We just do, because we're the parents. Thank you, Elizabeth.
oh my gosh, Destiny is just tuning in. This is her first meeting. I'm 1 month into this journey. This is the first one of these I've logged into. What you were saying about looking at the top of the rock and thinking about how you were going to jump off was me an hour ago. Today has been my hardest day. I feel like everything you are saying, I so needed to hear right now in this moment. That's just beautiful. Thank you, Destiny. And Destiny, please reach out to our caring listeners. Lisa's a caring listener. I am. So is Irene. We have tons of wonderful caring listeners. If anyone would like to be able to speak to us, we're always available. And and we it changes our lives to know that our kids are happy, healthy, and home, and that we're still in school, and that we are here for a purpose. We are not here just living out our lives until we get to see our kids again. They are so proud of us. They love to watch us do everything that we do here on earth. They love it when we honor them, but they also really love it when we're interacting with parents of friends of theirs. And I think that they're the ones who bring all of us together. So they high five each other each time they see us smile. So the more that we smile, the happier they are as well. I know that's not easy in the beginning, and I'm not saying that anybody should have to do that, but they love it when we smile. So
Now, see, here's a perfect example. Everything she just said, when I was brand new, just like Destiny, just like Yen, I would sit in her room at her meetings, and can I do it, Elizabeth? I hate to do it. And I would go, because I'd be like, listen to her. Listen to her. Who wants to hear that? She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. I don't even want to be happy. How could I want to be happy? Both of my children crossed. How could I want to be happy? But you know what? She is an earth angel because she was patient and kind with me until my boys showed me themselves. And she kept hugging me and she kept telling me to come back. And now I'm like, Elizabeth, I'm so sorry I did that to you because you're just her journey was different because she was going to start this international organization that is going to even be in Hong Kong now, that this wave of incredible parents who are going to teach all these other parents who do want to climb the top of those rocks to say, but wait, this is our time to be here. Our kids are fine. They're fine. And life is everlasting, just like that ankh that I saw when I very first meditated. Oh my
That's
gosh.
wonderful. Okay, there's so many other questions, so I have to ask this one.
Okay.
First, I'm going to do a statement. Sabrina is saying, Lisa was my first HPH medium just months after her transition on her birthday. The most dreaded day became a turning point in my journey because of the joyful reading, and I am so grateful. Um, Marina has been asking, and I wanted to get to this, and I'm sorry, Marina, I didn't yet. Were you born with your abilities, or is it something that you learned? Could you maybe speak to that for everyone?
Sure. Hi, Marina. I personally believe that here's how I like to say it. Okay, we're all born and we can all run. But I hate running and I can't run fast and I'm not an Olympic runner. We are all born with these abilities to hear, feel, see. It was my soul's purpose to really, really work on that, really, really pay attention to that, really, really try and develop this because this is what I knew my work was going to be. When I was 13 years old, I did see some spirits, but I didn't really, I thought I was crazy. So it wasn't until after my second son crossed that I started seeing children everywhere at these grief retreats I was going to. I mean, I was seeing them as clearly as I was seeing you guys, and they were giving me incredible evidence. But what I want you to know, Marina, is not every one of us has to be a medium because the kids tell me, the people in spirit tell me, this is just communication. It's not mediumship. You don't have to be a medium. You can talk to your child the same as you could talk to them if they were in their bedroom. It's just learning how to do that. It's learning how to have that this world be accessible to us. And next year, starting in January, I don't really want to, but I know I'm going to be teaching. So I take that back, spirit world. I do want to because that'll be my next. So I'm going to be teaching us how to be able to do this. There's incredible teachers out there now. Suzanne Giesman is just absolutely out of this world. She's so, so, so good. And she has so many opportunities for free. Follow her little Awakened Way YouTube videos. Elizabeth and Irene bring us the best of the world to helping parents heal. You guys don't know. These are the best of the best in the world. Watch the YouTube videos.
Well, including Lisa. And I want to say that we feel very grateful that she's a part of Helping Parents Heal because of all of the people that she's helped, not just here, but throughout the world. You give readings all over the world yourself. And Carrie is saying, and I think this is very interesting, and she was trying to say something, that's why the whiteboard was up. So she apologized and she's writing it here. My son told me when he was little that he was not going to be here in adulthood. When he passed, he came to me and he warned me I needed to fight. It wasn't my time to go. 2 weeks later, I had a massive stroke. Again, he was there to remind me that it wasn't my time to go. I had to fight. So obviously, our kids are not only with us, but they're also helping us um, to move forward with a lot of difficult situations. I mean, I know that everyone's been faced with so many difficult situations lately, especially with the hurricanes and with all of the turmoil that's going on in the world. But our kids are there and they are going to help us get through this. So I think it's important, especially with health issues, to hold on um, to the idea that it is speaking to them as though you just have a sheet of wax paper in between you and your child, which is the way that I have been taught. So they're not
Okay, I have to interrupt you. Okay, so she said that to me at a meeting 10 years ago. And there was a medium there too. And he said, I see your kids and it's like they're just behind waxed paper. So I got the mail, I threw the mail in my car, drove up to Sedona, got home, and there was Anthony's death certificate in the mail. And there was one other envelope, and it was his high school graduation picture, which was like 2 years or a year before. So I don't know why I was just getting this picture in a sheet of waxed paper. I have never seen a picture in a sheet of waxed paper before. It's still in that waxed paper. I was like, oh my gosh.
well, it's kind of amazing when you start down that road, all of the collateral beauty that starts appearing. And I know that it's hard because we don't want this collateral beauty. We want our kids here with us in the physical. And I completely understand that. But they are having so much fun showing us that they are still right here with us. And I love the way that Lisa talks about this too. And again, it's really exciting because Lisa did have a hard time in the beginning. Here she is, the shining light mom of two beautiful sons who have transitioned. And it didn't happen immediately, but boy oh boy, she's one of the staunchest supporters and one of the people who helps the most people in this group now.
That's because I believe in it so much. Every single one of you looking at a computer screen or a phone screen right now, I want to jump up and down and say, if I can do this, you can do this. But even bigger than that, our kids can do this. I'm not making this up. It's truly real. And I know for those of you whose hearts are just bleeding and raw right now, I want to say stay with us. Learn the tools for healing. Learn the tools so that we can help pull you forward towards being able to connect with your child again to where you're going to realize you're okay. We're okay.
That's beautiful. And I want to just ask you because Colleen is going to be up in Sedona next week and she would like to connect with her daughter. Can you recommend a location for healing energy? So I guess that would be one of the vortexes, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Well, message me and I'll tell you. I'll say a few things right here, right now. The stupa in Sedona is incredible. So it's kind of a little hidden secret if you don't know about it, but it's a very beautiful place to go meditate. It's a very sacred Buddhist place. Anywhere in Sedona, anywhere. I do have some friends that do incredible sound healing. You can message me and I can give you some information on that. But you know what? Anywhere you go sit yourself on those red rocks and take off your shoes and put your feet in the red rocks or put your feet in the creek. Just do that. There's no particular place you need to go or anything you need to do. You just need to go and feel and just go and be.
That's beautiful. And I love that Wanda is saying, love this group better than any therapist. I think that's really, it's a compliment because I know that it's important if you need to see a therapist, if you need to be able to go and see health professionals, you should be doing that. But at the same time, we also should be talking about our kids. That's one of the big things that I miss a lot of times with my own family and my own friends, the friends that I had before this journey. And I found so many friends here that I get to talk about my kids all the time with. I want to just quickly say, Lisa, if it's okay, I've been on this journey now with Morgan for 15 years, with Chelsea for 23 years. But on Sunday, it was his angel date, and I'm always blown away by the things that he sends me. And on Sunday, here I am posting the kids, putting all their birthdays and angel dates. And I look back at my profile because I want to put a little thing for Morgan on it. And it said, Elizabeth Vini drink. Well, my name, Boisson, is drink in English. And I haven't seen that since Morgan used to call himself Morgan Drink all the time, just to be funny. When he came over from France, he was always saying, "Yeah, I'm Morgan Drink," so it'd be easier to pronounce. And I thought, "Oh my gosh, somebody has hacked my my Facebook profile. What am I going to do? This is terrible. This is crazy. I've never seen this before." So I called my daughter who's in New Jersey and I said, "What do you see when you see my profile?" Because all I could see when I was searching for Elizabeth Vigny Boisson was the things that I post in Helping Parents Heal and nothing else, not my profile or anything. And she said, "Mom, your profile's fine. It says Elizabeth Vigny Boisson. That's just Morgan. He's messing with you." So anyway, I thought it was really funny and it went away right away. And I haven't had any more problems with it. But they are kind of funny. And when you look out for it, sometimes they can get you a little aggravated too, because I had a meeting that morning at Unity and I needed to do other things besides worrying about the fact that my name had changed. But it still happens. 15 years later, 23 years later, they'll still be with you every step of the way.
Absolutely. Elizabeth, I just want to say, if you guys can, go on my website, phoenixmedium.com, go to the bottom where it says, I think it says sign up for my email or something like that, so that I can let you know, and I'll do some more of these free things. Lots of them, because that's another pet peeve of mine is it doesn't have to cost you anything to connect with your child, which is another reason I absolutely love helping parents heal. But I do this because I want us all to know, okay, if I'm here now, I know each and every one of you here too is going to be okay. And I love all our kids. I told Irene and Elizabeth, they all showed up standing there holding candles for us. You know how we light candles for them? They're saying, no, it's us that are holding the light for you. And it was such a beautiful image.
And there's so many people who are saying that their kids are having birthdays today. For instance, Colleen's daughter's 30th birthday is today, and she's so glad that she joined the meeting, as well as Barb is saying, knowing I was going to be here tonight, I was asking my daughter to give me a sign she knows. I came home from work tonight, and in the mailbox was a letter from one of her organ recipients. I feel her. So validating. Isn't that beautiful? Um, anyway, and it's so much fun to be able to talk about our kids this way with people who understand. I just think that it's one of the most exciting things that I've ever experienced, to be with like-minded people and to talk about our kids and to talk about all the signs that they're sending us. But I'm looking for more questions for you. Let's see. So
I
Robert,
think we only have one more minute, but I did read a question that I'd like to address. And somebody said, is it normal for us to not be sure we want to heal? 100%, because I was there. It's 100% normal. Because what kind of mom would I be if I was okay? But I had to realize, and I can say, if anyone else said this to me, I'd be PISSED. If anybody else said to me, "You're being selfish," I would say, "How dare you? My children have crossed. How dare you tell me that?" But I can tell me that. And I can tell you that because we've been through the same thing. And I can tell you that is selfish to think that we don't want to, that we can't heal or don't want to heal, because it's not what our kids want. That's making it about ourselves, and it's not about us. It's about this beautiful light that for some reason, for whatever reason, we were chosen to come here and have this path. And I promise you, we're all going to see incredibly beautiful things that most of the rest of the world doesn't even get to see. We're going to see magic.
oh, that's so beautifully said. And everyone's thanking you in the chat box. And I am just so grateful that all of you were able to be on here this evening. Thank you for listening to Lisa. And Lisa, thank you for coming on and telling us all of this. Thank you, Irene, for being here as well. Irene, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
No, just wonderful. Thank you, Lisa.
I
Love
love you,
you.
Irene. I love you, Elizabeth. I love each and every one of you and all your kids.
We all love you. And I wanted to also just let everybody know that we always ask everyone to unmute and say thank you and good evening if you'd like to. So you can go ahead and
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you so much, all of
Thank
you.
you. Good night, everybody.
you
Thank
so much.
you.
An
thank
incredible
you.
season.
So
You are
Thank
so
you,
loved.
Lisa.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Love you
This was
all.
the
Thank you,
best.
Lisa.
Lisa, this was the
Best ever.
best.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.